Hey guys, back with another educational video, and this week I want to talk about the power of placebo. I get into debates, this may be new to you, I get into debates online at times. What I hear a lot is people saying, well, I did this and I felt so much better, or this worked for me. I want to be clear, I'm not saying, when I say something might have been placebo, I'm not saying it didn't work for you. People who, for example, they read about keto, they have a positive opinion about keto, and they go on keto and they go, oh, I felt so much better. Well, no shit. You self-selected that diet, you read a lot of positive feedback about it, and then you went on, you're like, oh, wow, I feel better. It's just like the game changers with the putting them on plant-based diets. Of course they feel better. They're in the honeymoon phase of a new diet. There's studies to show that literally changing anything can make you feel better. I'm not saying that you're not actually experiencing that. I'm just saying that that has very limited applicability to other people. Let me give you an example. I suffered pretty bad back injuries. I had herniated discs and bulge discs in my lower back. I saw one of the leading back experts in the world, Stu McGill, and I went through a treatment program and I got better. And people have said, oh wow, can you teach me how to heal my back because my back hurts? I don't know shit about pain compared to some of the people out there. That's like picking somebody tall and being like, can you tell me how I can get tall? Same thing with people who have good physiques. Just because somebody has a good physique doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. In fact, oftentimes it's the exact opposite. So there's that problem, but then there's also the problem of, I could say, well, I did these exercises and I got better. Sure, but I also didn't have a control group. A lot of these people who go on these diets and they have progress and then they write books about it and sell these books. I would feel so irresponsible to write a book about the recovery from my back injury, telling people that that's what they should do, when one, I don't know what's causing their back pain, and two, I don't know if what I did was the best thing to do. I have no way of knowing because I didn't have a control group to compare it to. Yes, I got better, but could I have gotten better or just as good as I am now by just taking time off until I had no pain and then coming back? Maybe. I don't know. I have no way to know that. I know that what I did worked. I don't know if it was the best thing to do. Now keep that in mind as we talk about the power of placebo. I want to talk about a couple studies that can highlight just how powerful placebo and the power of suggestion are. So first off, there was a recent study that came out where they took subjects and they either told them they weren't getting anabolic steroids or they were getting anabolic steroids. And they didn't give anabolic steroids to either group. Guess what happened to the group that were told they got anabolic steroids? They, not just by a little bit, they significantly increased their strength substantially. Why? Because they believed that they were getting steroids. That's how powerful your mind is. There was a study years ago where they took people and gave them placebos, but told them that they gave them certain amounts of caffeine. So like varying amounts of caffeine. And they looked at their cycling performance. Not only did all the people improve, they found that their improvement was almost linear to the amount of caffeine they told them they would get. Another study, they took 4 groups of people. People who were told they didn't get caffeine and didn't get caffeine. People who got caffeine but were told they didn't get caffeine. People who didn't get caffeine but were told they got it, and people who were told they got caffeine and really got caffeine. 4 groups. What they found was it did not matter whether or not they got caffeine. What matters is, were they told they got caffeine? So the group that didn't get caffeine and the group that did but were told they got it performed the same, and the group that didn't get it or did get it but were told they didn't get it also performed the same. Now people will take that too far and they would say, well, that means caffeine, it doesn't work. That's not true. Caffeine does work because we have double-blind placebo-controlled trials to show that it does. What that means is that your beliefs about what caffeine does are actually more powerful than what it actually does. Caffeine is one of the biggest performance-enhancing supplements that we know of out there. That's how powerful your mind is and the power of belief. One more study. So they took genetic markers for various people with a few different things, but we'll look at hunger. So they looked at, I think, ghrelin. So they knew the genetics for everybody, and then they randomly told them either they had the gene for low ghrelin or high ghrelin. So some people had kind of the same thing, 4 different groups. Some people were told they had the gene for low ghrelin and had the gene for low ghrelin, or the gene variant, rather, because they're the same gene. Some people were told they had the gene variant for low ghrelin, but they actually had high ghrelin. Some people were told they had the gene variant for high ghrelin and had high ghrelin. Some people were told they had the gene variant for high ghrelin and had low ghrelin. So again, kind of 4 different subsets here. What happened to their ghrelin levels? It did not matter what their genetics were. It mattered what the researchers told them. That is the power of suggestion. And keep in mind, we're not talking about, this isn't like a feeling. This isn't subjective. This is an objective measurement that actually significantly changes due to the person's own beliefs. So again, it's so important to realize that, yes, you may have done something that worked for you. Did it work for you because it was absolutely the best thing, or because you felt positively about it, believed in it, and that's why it worked so well for you? That doesn't mean it's going to work well for everybody else. In my own experience, I had this problem, and I almost started venturing into an area of cognitive dissonance. Fortunately, I pulled myself back in. I found that for me, when I was younger, if I tried to limit the types of foods I could eat, I would end up doing fine, and then I would blow out and have a binge every once in a while. Whereas if I just tried to hit a certain amount of macros, but knew I could have whatever food I wanted, that completely stopped that binge behavior with me. And it worked well for me and worked well for quite a few clients. But I started venturing into the area of everybody should be doing this. And that's not appropriate for everybody. Not everybody has the capability to flexible diet well, and it's probably inappropriate for certain populations in terms of people who don't moderate their food intake well. What worked for you may not work for somebody else, not because our physiology is that much different, because our psychology is different, and because of the power of suggestion. Please do not underestimate the power of suggestion, especially when studies come out to say, for example, like some supplement doesn't work and people go, oh, but I really felt something on it. No shit. We could give you a sugar pill and tell you it was going to make sex so much better. And you would be like, wow, I felt so much better during sex. But it didn't actually do anything. Your mind is what did that. I can also tell you how powerful your mind can be. Think positive thoughts. I would do some background in terms of cognitive behavioral therapy and how you talk to yourself. That stuff can have extremely great benefits for many of you. Never underestimate the power of suggestion, the power of your mind. Hopefully this video expanded the power of your mind. Hope you guys have a great week, and I'll catch you next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you like these videos, please click the links in the description to check out some of my educational books where you can learn more about fat loss and contest prep.